Hi everyone, this is Michael Bertoni and I'm the founder and CTO of Philly Tech. Extremely excited to be here and be the host of Tech Talks on RVN TV every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. This show is dedicated to entrepreneurs, software companies, as well as technology companies, and how to be successful within those markets. I personally have over 20 years experience helping software companies succeed with both engineering, recruiting, and sales services. So everybody has the opportunity, guys, to build technology. So I want to let everybody know that. This is my first show. Extremely excited to be here. And one of the things that is very important is everybody out there has the opportunity to build technology. So I've been working with a lot of clients, and technology and software is simply automation of processes. So there's a lot of people out there that are experts in their industry. They understand processes in their particular industry, and they understand the challenges and the pain points in those areas. So everybody out there has the opportunity to develop technology and do so very cost efficiently. So with me today is my guest, Alan Klaus. So extremely excited to be here with Alan. Alan has been my coach for a number of years in the technology area, and he has great experience, guys, with software and technology companies. He's worked prior to Blind Spot Strategy for 18 years at Ben Franklin Technology Partners, where he was the director of investments for IT companies. He worked with companies like Boomi. He worked with companies like Monetate. He worked with companies, what was the
Instamed.
Instamed, right, which actually was just acquired for like over $500 million. So it's great to be here with you, Alan.
Good to see you.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
So Alan, tell us a little bit about your background and what you've done before starting your company, Blind Spot Strategy.
Sure. So it's taken me many different paths to get where I am. I started in the retail and then traveling sales, and started working with small businesses and early stage companies, selling them goods, and realizing they were making some decisions that they're buying my stuff, and I'm not sure I would have been buying my stuff in their situation.
Right.
And then I said, I really want to go back to school and get my MBA and help companies, and decided to do so. But in the meantime, I got into selling advertising. And again, working with early stage companies that if I didn't call them before a holiday, oh, it is a holiday. Yes, I do need an ad. It's like I was helping them run their business, and I was saying, this group needs help. Right. So I wanted to do that. I went to my MBA at Temple, and I worked at the Small Business Development Center, where I learned the consulting skills and helping early stage companies, and then started at Ben Franklin Technology Partners, and worked there for 18 years as the director of investments for information technology, doing the funding of early stage companies, and then trying to help them grow afterwards.
Great. So you got this great background where you're with Ben Franklin. So tell the audience why, what is Blind Spot Strategy, where you're the principal, and why did you start it?
Absolutely. So after 18 years of working at Ben Franklin and working on the funding side, acting really as a venture capitalist, but it's a state-funded organization, and it has a dual purpose of creating jobs, as well as returns. I decided it was time to go out on my own and support entrepreneurs from the other side, helping them with their funding strategy and their business strategy, and really how the two of them connect, because that's what I really kept seeing over and over, was either a really good business, but the amount of money they were asking, or the from whom, or what they were using to communicate why to invest in their business just wasn't syncing with the kind of business they were trying to create and their goals.
Right. So I've worked with Alan, like I think I said earlier, for a few years, and he's got a lot of passion. And when I first started working with Alan, he was very, very good at quickly understanding my problems, right? So I've been in technology for over 20 years, right, in software, and I started my company about 5 years ago. And everybody deals with problems and challenges. And when I first started talking with Alan and I was talking to him about my issues, he immediately was able to grasp those things and quickly come up with some ideas and a framework to help me. So with that, I wanted to understand really from your perspective, Alan, how do you feel that you help your clients at Blind Spot Strategy?
I've got a lot of experience working with companies of all sorts of problems and issues, and some of those are about too much growth or growth. It's around finding the right advisors. It's around a lot of different parts of what it takes to build a successful company. Right. Funding is one of them, and it's obviously, without cash, you are not in business. So it is obviously the most critical, but all these other parts support the funding strategy and vice versa. Right. So I really try to work with somebody to understand what their goals are, what they're trying to accomplish, their passions, before I'm really, they may come to me and say, we need help with just this. Like they'll say, can you help me with my deck? Mm-hmm. And I need to really understand pitch deck, yep. I have to really understand a lot more about their business, and I'm going to challenge them. It's not just telling the story, but it's telling their story in a way that will resonate, right, and making sure that it's the right story for investors. It could be that the business needs to be changed or get to a certain place first, right, before we go out for funding, because if it's going to be a full-time job to try to raise money, right, you want to do that at the right time to the right people.
Right. So, Alan created this company called Blind Spot Strategy, right? So there's some background into blind spots, right? I was very intrigued, and I continue to be, about these blind spots and understanding them, being able to see them and be able to help entrepreneurs and software companies get through them. So Alan, what's your opinion on the top blind spots that companies face?
Well, I think there's 2 or 3 different categories of blind spots, right? So one can be just around business, mm-hmm, right? What are my blind spots around marketing and what I do or don't know, or sales, or people, or what I need around me. Another can be around fundraising, like when a investor says this, what do they really mean? Right. What the investor's business model is to determine if you are an appropriate candidate, and timing, and the whole legal and people issues around the funding. And the third part, which is a little more complicated, is the personality, right? Right? Because there are some times where somebody who is real cocky and all confident, and that can be like a Pied Piper, and it really works for them in many different ways. Right. But it also can piss off maybe a supplier, or maybe piss off somebody that you really need. And so when that happens, you need to figure out that blind spot of, this is a personality trait I have, but it can't be applied at certain times, or I need to tone it down, or sometimes you need somebody else just to help you see you in a different way.
That's great, Alan. Really appreciate it. And after this commercial break, I want you to come back, where Alan and I are going to talk specifically about a client called Legal Science, a software company based here in Philadelphia that we're both working with. We're going to talk about what they do and how they help people in the legal industry. Thanks.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind the scenes footage, previews, and more.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away. 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation. 856-226-4800.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to create a better visitor experience.
Hey, welcome back. This is Michael Bertoni, founder and CTO of Philly Tech, with my guest Alan Klaus. And if you were back with us before, Alan and I were talking about blind spots, and Alan wanted to talk about one other blind spot that he thought was very important. So what was that again, Alan?
So one of the things that people often do is they raise what they think is just the right amount of money because their valuation is lower, and then they want to raise the next amount of money after they prove something so the valuation goes up.
Right.
And that seems really logical, but you need to have a lot of risk tolerance to do that because you're running to the edge every single time and you're raising money, this full-time thing, that much more often. What's more important to realize is that unless, usually the valuation or the amount of you get to keep of your company doesn't change all that much with a bunch of small raises versus a couple of larger ones, even if the valuation doesn't change. So it's worth doing the math to figure that out.
Right. So I want to tell everybody a story real quick about Alan. So Alan, again, he's a coach, he's an advisor, helps you get funding, but I want to talk to you about the coaching, right? So every founder that's out there, if you're thinking about founding a company or you have one, is up in the middle of the night and they're stressed. They're dealing with some type of issue in their business that is causing them to lose sleep, right? These are the biggest reasons in my mind why you need a coach in the technology area like Alan, right? Because there have been many times, and everybody knows out there what I'm talking about, when something happened in your business and you can't sleep, you're having trouble working. This happens to us all. It could be family issues, it could be partnerships, it could be a lot of different things. So I want Alan just to talk about that, not necessarily from the perspective of how he helps me, because that's confidential type of things, but everybody needs this. So Alan, quickly tell the audience what that's like when someone calls you on the weekend or at night and they're dealing with something.
I'm here to help in a variety of ways. And when they come to me, they may think they're coming to me for one issue, and all of these things you're talking about are exactly what it takes to build a successful company. Right. If you're not with it 100% or you're really stressed over it and you're losing concentration, it's not working for you. I'm here to help. I've got a lot of experience and I have a lot of contacts of people that can help. Right. And that's one of the things that I've done, like with legal science, where I was able to take them to a certain place and then I knew that they really needed sales help more and I referred them to you. But the idea is my experience and the people I know, and I've sat on many of a board of directors as the observer or member, trying to help gather all the information to support a company, and it doesn't matter what time, issues happen all day long and night.
Right. Yeah, so getting into legal science. So legal science is a software company based in the Philadelphia area that's focused on building a legal intelligence software platform. And essentially their technology tracks the law, right? So Alan, we've been working together for a while. He actually referred me to them. I'm helping them with sales, basically licensing, selling their technology to clients, right? So legal science is like a lot of companies in the country, right? They have a great team, right? They have a great software product, right? They've got clients, they've got revenue, right? But they need somebody that can help them sell their technology, right? Where, again, back to before I started Philly Tech, I was in sales and business development for about 18 years, just focused in helping software and technology companies like Oracle and Computer Associates and larger companies and smaller companies like Jive and Apogee to sell their technology. So Alan referred me to them, and it's been a really exciting journey with them so far. Their technology is really groundbreaking. So if you use technology from companies like Thompson or Lexus or Walters, and their technology works with that technology and extends, allows you to share, allows you to collaborate, and allows you to build data sets to be able to do some really exciting things. So, Alan was the first one that started work with them. So Alan, I hope I did a great job of explaining what they do, but why don't you explain what they do?
What they do is really not the issue,
Yeah.
right? I mean, every company does something really interesting, but the question was, is this a company that investors are likely to fund? Is this, how much money do they need? Over what period of time? What's their competitive advantage, differentiation? Is it a small differentiation only to a few people? Is it, and so that was really how we started working together, is really trying to understand the market, understand their, their financial stage and their projections to determine whether this company was going to hit it big, or, and until we can figure out and have professional sales in there figuring out how to communicate the story, we really cannot determine how big they can get. And so that's why I help them try to get how to communicate their story, but once I hit that, they needed to have a different kind of service.
Yeah, so again, there are many software companies like Legal Science out there, people watching, right, that need this, right? So when you have a technology and you have engineering, right, and you're building the technology, and then you need sales in order to drive growth within that company. And it's really been exciting working with them. So the first phase of the project with them was really getting their messaging down so we could get out and talk to who their clients are going to be, which are professional service companies as well as software companies. And so it's been an exciting journey, and I look forward to working with them further. So again, just wanted to wrap things up here. It's been a great first show here on Tech Talks, and wanted to see if Alan, if you had any last thoughts before we sign off on our first show.
Well, congratulations to you for starting this, and your passion comes out every time you talk to somebody, and I wish you all the best success.
Great, thanks, and come back to Tech Talks. Thanks for coming.